The evening started with the promise of light-hearted fun, laughter spilling over inside jokes, playful teasing, the comfort of being around people I trusted. It was one of those nights when walls fell away easily because you were with those who felt like home. We'd gathered at my best friend's cozy apartment, just the four of us. The lights were low, mellow music drifted softly, and the air smelled of greasy pizza boxes mixed with the cheap tang of red wine. He sat beside me on the couch, close enough that his arm rested lazily along the back. His grin was easy, his eyes glowing with that familiar warmth. After more than a year together, I felt like there were almost no mysteries left between us. Of course, I still kept fragments of my past tucked away, not out of deceit but because some stories seemed better left unsaid. That night would prove me wrong. The suggestion to play truth or dare didn't even come from me. My best friend, nostalgic for the recklessness of our teenage years, tossed it out like a spark. The idea caught instantly. Laughter circled the room, and before I could make a graceful excuse, everyone agreed. Within minutes, the game was rolling, questions flying, dares carried out with silly enthusiasm. Most of it was harmless fun. Embarrassing stories, goofy challenges. Someone dared another to text something ridiculous to a crush. The wine softened everyone, giving the room a tipsy warmth where reality felt hazy but safe. And then it happened. Someone dared him to ask me a truth. He leaned in, eyes twinkling with mischief yet sharpened with curiosity, as if we'd slipped into a private world. He asked, "What's the riskiest thing you've ever done with someone before me?" My heart froze. Inside me, two voices fought. One urged me to laugh it off, give a vague, harmless answer and keep the game moving. The other, loosened by wine, the mood, and my stubborn desire to live by the honesty we'd promised each other, pushed me to answer truthfully. So I did. I told him about a reckless night years ago with an ex, a wild, out-of-character moment no one in that room would have guessed. I gave just enough detail to make it vivid. And instantly the air changed. His grin slipped. His arm retreated. He said nothing at first, just blinked, processing. My friends tried to smooth it over with nervous jokes. But the lightness of the evening had vanished. The room felt colder, heavier. I could see in his eyes that his thoughts had left the present, replaying the story I had just confessed. The game fizzled soon after. We excused ourselves with half-hearted reasons, and the walk back to his apartment stretched in silence. The only sounds were the faint hum of passing cars and the pounding of my own pulse. Inside he didn't yell. He didn't accuse. He simply looked at me as if I were no longer the woman he thought he knew. When he finally spoke, his words cut deep. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" I tried to explain that it didn't matter anymore, that it was a chapter closed long before we met. I reminded him that we both had passed and I had never judged his. But he shook his head. It wasn't about blame, he said. It was about the image of me he had built in his mind, an image I had shattered without meaning to. In the days that followed, the change was undeniable. The little touches disappeared, the way he used to lace his fingers through mine, the casual kisses in the kitchen, the look in his eyes that once made me feel anchored. He wasn't cruel, but he wasn't fully present anymore. An invisible wall had risen between us, impossible to break. I tried to reach him. I apologized, even though I hadn't betrayed him. I reminded him of our laughter, our trust, the love that had carried us this far. But every time his gaze drifted somewhere I couldn't follow. Our final conversation was quiet, almost gentle. He told me he still loved me, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't erase the image my confession had planted in his mind. He couldn't unhear it. Then came the words that ended us. "I can't stay with you if every time I look at you I see him." And that was it. Not lies, not betrayal in the present, but a truth from years ago that I should have left locked away. When I left that night, I didn't feel anger or regret, only a hollow ache at how fragile love can be. Sometimes it isn't secrets that destroy us, but truths we think we can handle, until they are finally spoken aloud.